I swear, Ethan, you'd forget your own head if I didn't remind you, I teased, handing him his keys. He grinned, that soft dimpled grin I'd fallen in love with. That's why I keep you around, Ava. I laughed. 5 years and that's all I'm good for. 5 years of putting up with me? You deserve an award, he said, kissing my forehead before heading out the door. The sound of the door closing always felt like safety back then. Everything did. My world was small, but it was perfect. Ethan, me, Maya. Don't tell me you're cooking again. Maya groaned through the phone that night. You're turning into a wife already. It's called dinner, not devotion, I joked, stirring pasta sauce. He's been working late all week. Working late, huh? She said, with a laugh that lingered a bit too long. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just Ethan and his mysterious overtime, she said. Maybe he's saving up for a ring. I smiled despite her tone. You think? Maybe. She said softly. You deserve it. Maya had always been blunt, sarcastic, but caring in her own way. We'd been inseparable since high school sleepovers, heartbreaks, laughter until sunrise. She knew everything about me, about us. Lately though, she'd started changing too. Always busy, always somewhere else. When I asked, she'd shrug and say, work's been insane. Still, I ignored the distance. I didn't want to think too much. That night, Ethan came home past midnight. You're still up? He asked, loosening his tie. I wanted to make sure you ate, he sighed. Ava, you don't have to wait for me every night. I know, but I like seeing you. His eyes flicked away. Work's just crazy. I'm tired, okay? I whispered, watching him disappear into the shower. Something felt off, but I couldn't name it. A few days later, Maya texted me, lunch tomorrow? I miss you. At the calf. She smiled too brightly. You've lost weight. Stress, I said. Ethan's been swamped. She stirred her coffee. You sure he's not different? I laughed nervously. You sound like my mom. Just asking, she said, eyes darting away. You trust him, right? Of course, I replied too quickly. When I got home that evening, Ethan was on the balcony, phone in hand. His voice dropped when I entered. Who was that? I asked. Work call, he said, slipping his phone into his pocket. I nodded, pretending to believe him. Later in bed, I stared at the ceiling while he slept. My chest felt heavy, but I told myself I was imagining things. Ethan loved me. Maya loved me. I had everything a woman could ask for. Stability, love, friendship. So why did it all feel like it was slipping away? I turned over, closed my eyes, and whispered to myself, stop overthinking, Ava. I didn't know then that my silence that night would cost me everything. The rain wouldn't stop. It came down in sheets, soaking my jacket as I balanced the takeout bags in one hand. He's going to love this, I murmured, forcing a smile. Ethan had texted earlier, saying work might keep him late again. I didn't care. I wanted to surprise him, remind him that I still cared, even if he'd been drifting away. When I reached his apartment, the lights were on. So he is home, I whispered, half laughing. I knocked once, then again. No answer. Ethan? I called, trying the handle. It wasn't locked. The moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. The air was too quiet. Then I heard it, a soft laugh. A woman's laugh. I froze. Ethan? I said again, my voice shaking. There was a rustle, a gasp, then a thud from the bedroom. My body moved before my mind could catch up. I pushed the door open and the world stopped. Maya's hair was tangled, her shirt halfway off. Ethan was beside her, eyes wide with horror. For a moment, no one spoke. Only the sound of the rain filled the silence. What is this? I whispered. My throat burned. Ava, wait, Ethan started, stumbling out of bed. Don't you dare come near me. My voice cracked, trembling between fury and disbelief. Maya, you? She pulled the blanket up to her chest, tears spilling down her cheeks. It just happened, Ava. I swear it just happened. I laughed bitterly. People don't just happen into each other's beds. Ethan reached for me. Please listen. To what? I shouted. To how you ruined everything. How long, Ethan? How long has this been going on? He rubbed his face, avoiding my eyes. A few weeks. It was a mistake. We didn't mean to hurt you. I felt the floor tilt beneath me. A mistake, I repeated softly. You were my whole life, and I was your mistake. Maya's voice broke. I didn't want to tell you. I hated myself every day, not enough to stop. I cut in. Not enough to stay away from him. Ethan stepped closer, desperate. Ava, please. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. My chest ached as tears blurred my vision. You lied. Both of you. Every late night. Every excuse. God. I defended you both. He reached out again, but I stumbled back, shaking my head. Don't touch me. The silence that followed was worse than the shouting. Maya sobbed quietly. Ethan stood there, hollow and ashamed. I looked at them. My best friend. My boyfriend, strangers now. You destroyed me, I whispered. And for what? Some secret thrill? Ethan's voice cracked. I still love you. No, I said. You don't. You love the idea of me. The version that doesn't see who you really are. He flinched. Maya hid her face. I dropped the takeout bags. The containers burst open, the smell of food mixing with the salt of my tears. Dinner's ruined, I muttered numbly. Then I turned around. Ava, please. Maya cried. I didn't look back. I walked out into the rain, each step heavier than the last. The cold hit my skin, but I barely felt it. Behind me, Ethan called my name, his voice breaking. But I kept walking. The rain washed over me, drowning out everything. Their voices, my sobs, the sound of my heart breaking. By the time I reached my car, I was shaking so hard I could barely breathe. I looked at my reflection in the window, a stranger staring back. That was the night everything inside me died. Ava, please eat something, Mom begged over the phone. I'm not hungry, I muttered, staring at the untouched soup on my counter. You can't go on like this. I'm fine. You're not, her voice cracked. You sound like a ghost. I hung up before I started crying again. The phone kept buzzing. Ethan, Maya, Ethan again. Every vibration felt like a stab. Ava, please answer. It wasn't planned. We didn't mean to hurt you. Every message blurred into one long lie. 3 days. That's how long it had been. Maybe 4. I'd lost track. I hadn't slept properly since that night. The air still smelled like rain, betrayal, and cheap perfume. My friend Sarah stopped by once. You look awful, she said bluntly. Thanks, I replied. She set groceries on my table. He's not worth this, Ava. I know. Then stop punishing yourself. I'm not. I just don't feel anything. She sighed. You will. And when you do, you'll hate him more than you ever loved him. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. She was right. That night, Ethan called again. I let it ring 5 times before picking up. Ava, thank God. Please listen, say what you need to say, I whispered. It wasn't supposed to happen. Maya was there for me when we were fighting, so it's my fault now? No. I was lost. And you found her in my place. I cut in. Got it. He sighed. You're twisting this. I'm not twisting anything, Ethan. I just finally see things straight. Silence. Then he said quietly, I made a mistake. Yeah, I said, voice trembling. You made me your mistake. I hung up. The weight of it all crashed down. I screamed into the empty room until my throat burned. After that night, something in me changed. The sadness hardened into something sharper. Anger. Cold, clean anger. I opened my phone and scrolled through our old photos, vacations, birthdays, smiles that meant nothing now. I deleted them all. One by one, Maya's name appeared again. I'm sorry. I miss you. I blocked her. Then I opened my work email. My resignation letter sat in drafts, something I'd written but never sent. I hit send. Just like that, it was done. Sarah called right after. You quit? Yeah. What will you do? I don't know, I said, standing by the window. The city lights blurred through the glass. But not this. Not here. Running away won't fix it, she warned. I'm not running, I said softly. I'm disappearing. There's a difference. I packed bags that night, just clothes, a few books, my passport. No memories. No reminders. When morning came, I left my keys on the counter and walked out without looking back. Maybe they thought they'd broken me, but they'd only broken the version of me that needed them. Welcome to Brightridge, the receptionist said, smiling as she handed me a visitor badge. Thanks, I murmured, clutching my resume. My palms were sweating. New city, new job, new me, or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. When I met Lena for the first time, she didn't look up from her laptop. Ava, right? Sit. Why, yes, I said, taking the chair across from her. She finally glanced up. Relax. I don't bite. Unless someone messes up a campaign. I laughed nervously. Noted. She closed her laptop and leaned back. Why marketing? I like stories, I said. The way people connect with them. I guess I want to help build something that matters. Her eyes softened. Good answer. You'll fit here. We don't do fake smiles and empty slogans. That was Lena sharp, honest, impossible to impress but quick to protect those she believed in. By lunch, she was showing me around the office. You see those guys? Don't let them talk over you. Speak louder. I'm not really the loud type, I admitted. She raised a brow. Then become one. The world listens to noise before it listens to sense. That line stuck with me. After work, she dragged me to the company gym. You look like you haven't eaten or slept properly in months, she said, tossing me a towel. I smiled weakly. You're not wrong. Ex-boyfriend, she guessed. I froze. Something like that. Good, she said. Then you've got rage to burn. Use it. I laughed for the first time in weeks. You're insane. Maybe, she said, smirking. But it works. The next morning, my body ached everywhere, but it felt good. Alive. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. Messy hair, tired eyes, but a spark that hadn't been there before. I started journaling. At first, it was just fragments. I miss who I was. I hate who I became. But then the words turned into plans. I'll heal. I'll rise. I'll rebuild. Lena noticed. You've got fire now, she said one afternoon after a meeting. Do I? You looked the CEO dead in the eye and corrected his numbers. That's confidence. I laughed. I was terrified. No one noticed, she said proudly. That's the secret. Weeks passed. My clothes got brighter. My voice steadier. I wasn't the shattered girl from before, not fully whole yet, but no longer bleeding either. One evening, Lena and I shared a drink after work. You know, she said, swirling her glass. You remind me of me when I was younger. Too trusting, too kind. Then life happens, and you learn to choose yourself. I smiled softly. I'm trying. You're doing it, she said. That night, I stood before the mirror again. For the first time, I didn't see the broken girl Ethan and Maya left behind. I saw someone new, someone becoming whole. Okay, Ava, Lena said, tapping the table. Your idea's bold. You sure you want to pitch it to the board yourself? I have to, I replied, my hands slightly trembling. If I keep hiding behind others, I'll never grow, she grinned. That's my girl. Just remember, confidence sells better than logic. When my name was called in the meeting, I stood up, heartbeat pounding. I presented the campaign direct, emotional, honest. No pretending. Just truth. When it ended, the room was quiet. Then the CEO nodded. Approved. Excellent work, Ava. Lena winked at me. Told you. After the meeting, she clapped my shoulder. You just leveled up. Promotion's coming. I laughed nervously. Don't jinx it. I don't believe in luck, she said. I believe in people who fight to earn it. That night, she dragged me to a small tech networking event. You need to meet people outside of marketing, she said. I barely like the people in marketing, I muttered. She smirked. Tough. You're coming. That's where I met him, Ryan. He stood near the snack table, talking about code like it was poetry. When he noticed me listening, he smiled. Sorry, I tend to ramble when I get excited. It's okay, I said. You make programming sound emotional. He chuckled. Maybe because I actually feel things. Dangerous trait in this world, I said lightly. He tilted his head. You say that like you've been burned before. I have. His eyes softened. Then I'll try not to add to the list. I smiled, half defensive, half curious. We'll see. Over the next few weeks, we kept running into each other, meetings, coffee breaks, late night calls. He wasn't like Ethan. Ryan listened more than he spoke, and when he did speak, it felt real. You ever stop working? He asked one night when I was buried in campaign reports. Work keeps me sane, I said, or maybe it keeps you from feeling. He replied gently. That hit harder than I wanted to admit. You're very observant for someone I barely know, he shrugged. I just recognized familiar walls. Silence hung between us, the kind that said more than words could. Later, Lena teased me. So, this Ryan guy, cute, smart, single, interested? No, I said too fast. Liar, she said, laughing. You've smiled more this week than in the last 6 months. He's nice, that's all. She raised an eyebrow. Nice can be dangerous too. She wasn't wrong. Every time Ryan texted, my chest tightened. Excitement tangled with fear. One night he said, You don't trust easily, do you? No, I whispered. Trust got me destroyed once. Then let's start small, he said softly. You don't have to fall. Just breathe. Something in me cracked, not pain this time, but release. Maybe learning to breathe again was the real victory. The message came late at night. Ethan, I miss you. For a moment, I just stared at the screen, frozen. Then I laughed. Quiet, bitter, disbelieving. After everything. That's what he had to say. I tossed my phone onto the couch, but it buzzed again. Ethan, can we talk? Please. My chest tightened. I typed, lose my number, but deleted it. Silence said more. The next morning, Lena caught me frowning at my screen. Bad news? Worse. A ghost, I muttered. Ah, she said knowingly. The ex? Apparently he misses me. She rolled her eyes. They always miss you after you stop needing them. I sighed. You sound like you've seen this movie before. Sweetheart, I've starred in it. She patted my arm. Block him. Ghosts belong in the past. I wanted to, but curiosity was a disease. That night, I scrolled through social media. Maya's page, photos of her and Ethan, matching smiles, beach trips, fake captions about healing and love. I almost admired the performance. Almost. Do they look happy? Lena asked the next day when she caught me scrolling. Happy like a house fire, I said. She laughed. Good, let them burn. But Ethan didn't stop. Ethan, I made mistakes. Ethan, my company's falling apart. I just need someone to talk to. Ethan, you always believed in me, Ava. I deleted each one, but the words stayed. Like smoke. Invisible, suffocating. At work, I tried to focus, but my hands trembled during meetings. Ryan noticed immediately. You okay? He asked quietly after everyone left. I'm fine, I lied. He leaned against the table. You're shaking. That's not fine. I swallowed hard. It's nothing. Just someone from my past. Ethan? He guessed. My eyes shot up. How do you know his name? You said it once in your sleep. During that overnight project, my stomach dropped. Oh. He smiled gently. Don't worry. I'm not judging. I didn't think I'd ever hear from him again, I admitted. But he messaged me. Said he misses me. Ryan frowned. And how does that make you feel? I don't know. Angry, maybe. Or tired. He sounds desperate. Desperate people usually want something, he said. Not closure. I nodded slowly. His company's collapsing. Maybe that's why. Of course it is, Ryan said. You were his safety net. Now he's falling, and he remembers the person who used to catch him. I looked away. I deleted his number. Good, he said softly. But deleting him from your mind might take longer. That hit too close. How do you do it, Ryan? How do you let go of people who hurt you? He hesitated. You don't really. You just stop bleeding when their name comes up. I smiled faintly. That sounds nice. It will happen, he said. You're stronger than you think. Later that night, I opened Ethan's old message. One last time, I miss you. I whispered to myself. Good, you should. Then I blocked him. The next morning, Ryan found me smiling over coffee. You look lighter, he said. I buried a ghost, I replied. It feels good to breathe again. Gala? I repeated, staring at the email. You're kidding? Lena leaned against my desk, smirking. You're not skipping the biggest event of the year. I hate crowds. You don't hate crowds, she said. You hate being seen. I sighed. You're annoyingly right. That's why I'm your mentor, she said. Now get a dress that makes the room stop breathing. I laughed. You're insane. Confident, she corrected. There's a difference. By the time the night arrived, I almost turned back twice. The ballroom shimmered with gold lights and expensive perfume. I took a deep breath and whispered, You belong here, Ava. Ava. Lena called, waving from across the room. You look lethal. That's the goal, I said, smiling nervously. She handed me a glass of champagne. Tonight, you celebrate yourself. Forget the past. I tried. Until I saw him. Ethan. He stood near the sponsors table, looking smaller than I remembered. Tired eyes, forced smile. And beside him, Maya, dressed in silver, her gaze flicking everywhere except mine. My breath caught. You've got to be kidding me. Lena followed my stare. You know them? Too well, I whispered. Ah, she said softly. The ghosts again. I straightened my shoulders. Let's see if they can handle the living. As we approached the networking area, Ethan noticed me. His face drained of color. Maya froze. Ava, he said quietly, almost like a prayer. I didn't expect. No one ever does, I interrupted, smiling politely. Nice to see you thriving. His jaw tightened. We're managing. I can tell. I said, glancing at his badge. Hale & Partners, the firm I knew was sinking fast. Still in the same business? Yes, he muttered. Maya shifted uncomfortably. You look different. I am, I said simply. Change suits me. Lena squeezed my arm. We should take our seats, Ava. It's almost award time. Of course, I said, giving them both a nod. Enjoy the evening. As we walked away, Lena whispered, if looks could kill, you'd be in danger. I grinned. Let them watch. It's their turn. When the host announced, and this year's Young Innovator Award goes to Ava Morgan from Brightedge, I froze for a heartbeat. Then applause erupted. Lena whooped. Told you. I walked to the stage, my heels steady, my smile calm. I caught Ethan's expression, shock mixed with regret. Maya clapped weakly, her face pale. Congratulations, Ava, the host said, handing me the trophy. Thank you, I said into the mic. This isn't just about innovation. It's about starting over when life burns down what you built. The audience applauded again. I didn't look at Ethan, but I felt his gaze like a weight. When I stepped off the stage, Lena hugged me. You were perfect. I exhaled, my heart steady for once. No, I said quietly. I was free. The night air was cool when I stepped outside the venue, trophy still in hand. I'd barely taken a breath before I heard him. Ava, wait. That voice. I froze, then turned slowly. Ethan stood a few feet away, hair messy, eyes pleading. Maya lingered behind him, pretending to look remorseful. What do you want? I asked. My tone was calm, almost bored. He hesitated. I needed to talk. Please. There's nothing left to say. There's everything to say, he insisted, stepping closer. I made a mistake. I was weak. Stop. I cut in. Don't ruin my night with your excuses. He flinched, glancing at the trophy in my hand. You look incredible up there. You've changed. I had to, I said quietly. You left me no choice. Maya finally spoke, voice trembling. Ava, we're sorry. Truly, we were lost back then. I laughed. You found each other just fine. It wasn't like that, she said quickly. It just happened. Right, I said sharply. Everything with you two just happened. The betrayal, the lies, the bed. Ethan's face fell. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. You don't, I said. He swallowed hard. But I still needed to tell you that I never stopped caring. That's funny, I said, crossing my arms. You only remembered that after your company started falling apart. Maya's expression cracked. That's not fair. No? I met her gaze. You think it's fair that I had to rebuild myself from the ashes you two lit? She looked down, silent. Ethan tried again. Ava, I can't stop thinking about you. I see you everywhere. I dream about what we had. What we had is dead, I said. My voice didn't tremble this time. And I buried it the night you chose her. He reached for me. Please, just one chance to make things right. I stepped back. You had every chance. You used them all to destroy me. Maya's eyes filled with tears. We regret it every day. Good, I said softly. You should. The words hung heavy in the air. Ethan looked broken, Maya small and pale. For a moment, I almost pitied them. Almost. You didn't break me, I said finally. My voice was steady, powerful. You built me. Ethan blinked. What? All that pain. It made me stronger, smarter, better. I lifted my chin. You taught me who I never want to be again. They stood there, speechless. I turned toward the streetlights. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Maya. Ava, please. Ethan's voice cracked, desperate. I didn't turn around. No, you've said enough. As I walked away, I felt no anger, no ache, just peace. The sound of their silence behind me was the sweetest victory of all. Did you see the news? Lena asked, bursting into my office. I looked up from my laptop. What now? She grinned. Ethan's company, under investigation for fraud. I blinked. You're serious? Completely, she said, tossing her phone onto my desk. The headline screamed Hale & Partners faces financial scandal. I scrolled through the article. My chest tightened, not from sadness, but something colder. So the empire finally cracks. Lena crossed her arms. Karma doesn't need reminders. It's always on time. I smirked. Guess they ran out of lies to sell. Seems so. Oh, and Maya? What about her? Lena's grin widened. Clients are dropping her. Turns out she's been stealing work from interns. Someone leaked emails. I leaned back in my chair. Poetic. You don't sound surprised. I'm not. People like them always implode eventually. Lena studied me. You're really over it, huh? I hesitated. Maybe not over everything, but I don't wake up hating them anymore. That's progress. Later that evening, Ryan stopped by my desk. Still working? Always, I said, shutting my laptop. Keeps me out of trouble. He smiled. You heard about Ethan? Everyone has. He nodded slowly. You okay? Yeah, I said honestly. Just watching Karma do her job. He chuckled. You sound proud. I'm not, I said. I'm relieved. There's a difference. We walked out together. The city lights stretching across the glass buildings. Ryan said, you know, most people would celebrate. It was just past 8 when the receptionist buzzed me. Ava, there's a man here asking for you. Says it's urgent. I'm in the middle of a meeting. I said. He won't leave, she whispered. He smells like alcohol. My stomach sank. What's his name? Ethan Hale. For a second, I couldn't move. Then I exhaled. Send security. And tell them to bring him to conference room B. I'll handle it. When I walked in, he was slouched in a chair, hair messy, tie half undone. The smell of whiskey hit me before his words did. Ava, he said, standing too fast. God, you look incredible. Sit down, I said quietly. He blinked. Still bossy. I missed that. I ignored it. Why are you here, Ethan? He laughed, hollow and bitter. Why? Because everything's gone. Maya's gone. My company's gone. My life gone. I folded my arms. So now you come running to me? He ran a hand through his hair. I didn't know who else to call. You always believed in me. Not anymore. I made mistakes, Ava, he said, voice breaking. I thought I could fix them, but you can't. He looked at me, eyes red. She left me. Maya took what was left of the company money and ran off with some investor. I almost smiled. Karma's fast these days. He winced. You think I deserve this? I think you earned it. That's cold, he said softly. No, I said. It's clarity. He leaned forward, desperation twisting his face. Please, just talk to me. I need you. I need someone who knows me. You don't know me anymore, I said. The woman who loved you, she's gone. He shook his head. I never meant to hurt you. Yes, you did, I said. You just didn't think I'd survive it. He went silent. The room filled with the sound of his breathing uneven, broken. I lost everything, Ava, he whispered. I thought if I came here, you'd save you? I asked. I'm not your savior. I was your lesson. He looked up, stunned. Lesson? Yeah, I said. You taught me that love built on lies always collapses. You just didn't expect to be buried under the rubble. For a moment, he just stared at me, tears glistening in his eyes. I don't know how to start over. You'll figure it out, I said softly. I did. Security stepped into the doorway. Everything okay, Miss Morgan? Yes, I said. Please show Mr. Hale out. Ethan stood, shoulders slumped. Ava, goodbye, Ethan. He hesitated, then left without another word. When the door closed, I sat back in silence. No anger, no pain, just peace. For the first time, I realized closure doesn't come from revenge. It comes from knowing you've already won. I admitted. Internally, quietly. I don't need champagne for justice. He laughed softly. You've changed. I had to. The old me would have wanted revenge. The new me just wants peace. He looked at me for a moment. You deserve that. Do I? Yes, he said firmly. You fought for it. We stopped at a cafe. I wrapped my hands around the warm mug, staring at the steam. It's strange, I said, seeing their world fall apart. Part of me thought it would feel better, and it doesn't. It does, I said with a half smile. Just not the way I expected. He nodded. Because you've already won. Maybe. I paused. Maybe winning isn't about watching them fall. Maybe it's about standing tall when they can't. He smiled. Now you're just showing off. Maybe I am, I said laughing. Later, as he walked me home, he said quietly, you know, you don't have to keep proving you're strong. You already are. I met his eyes. You make it sound easy. It's not, he said. But it's worth it. For the first time in years, I believed someone when they said I was enough. As I watched him walk away, I realized something. Ethan's lies, Maya's betrayal, none of it defined me anymore. I'd finally learned how to love again him, yes, but mostly me. It was a quiet morning when the notification appeared on my phone. A name I hadn't seen in months, Maya. For a long moment, I just stared at it. My thumb hovered over the screen before I finally opened it. Ava, I don't know where to start. I know you'll probably never read this, but I need to say it anyway. I took a deep breath and kept reading. I'm sorry. For everything. For betraying you. For ruining what we had. I thought I loved him, but I didn't even love myself back then. You didn't deserve what I did to you. No one did. I swallowed hard. My chest ached, but not the way it used to. He's gone now, she wrote. He lost everything. And maybe I did too. I hope you're doing better. You always had more strength than both of us combined. I scrolled to the end. If there's any part of you that can forgive me, please do. I set the phone down, staring at the ceiling. The room was filled with the hum of the city, cars, faint chatter, life moving on. Mine had too. When Ryan called a few minutes later, I answered. Hey, you sound quiet, he said. Bad day? Not bad. I said softly. Just old ghosts trying to talk again. He hesitated. Maya? Yeah. What did she say? The same things everyone says when the damage can't be undone. He was silent for a moment. What are you going to do? I don't know, I said, even though I did. Do you want me to come over? No, I said, smiling faintly. I need to do this one alone. After the call ended, I picked up my phone again. I started typing. Maya, I don't hate you anymore. I just stopped caring the way I used to. We were both broken, and we hurt each other in the worst way possible. But I'm done carrying it. Then I paused, reading my own words. They felt heavy. Final. I hovered over the send button, then hit delete. She didn't need my forgiveness. I did. I locked my phone, set it on the table, and whispered to the empty room, Goodbye, Maya. For the first time, it didn't hurt to say it. Outside, sunlight slipped through the window. I stood there for a while, breathing in the warmth, letting it settle where the pain used to live. That chapter of my life was finally closed. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with peace. National Award for Innovation. Lena read aloud from the email, her grin stretching wide. Ava, you did it. I blinked. Wait. What? You won, she said, spinning her laptop toward me. Your campaign got selected. You're officially the Phoenix of marketing. I laughed in disbelief. That's ridiculous. It's perfect, she said. You burned, you rose, and now the world's watching. I sat back, breathless. I never thought I'd hear those words again. You won. You earned every letter of it, Lena said. Now get ready. The ceremony's next week. When the day came, the stage lights were blinding, but I didn't feel nervous, not anymore. I'd spent years learning how to rebuild from ashes. This was the proof. After the applause died down, a reporter approached me backstage. Ava Morgan, she said cheerfully, holding a mic. Everyone's calling you the Phoenix of marketing. What does that title mean to you? I smiled. It means I failed once spectacularly. But failure didn't end me. It remade me. Would you say this journey came from something personal? She asked. I paused. Very. But pain is just another kind of fuel. You can let it burn you down, or you can use it to rise higher. Her eyes lit up. Beautiful quote. Mind if I use it? Go ahead, I said. Ryan found me after the interview, holding 2 glasses of champagne. So, he said, how does it feel to be famous? I'd say overrated. I joked. He chuckled. You looked incredible on stage. I rolled my eyes. You're biased. Maybe, he said. But I'm also right. I smiled, shaking my head. You always know what to say. It's easy when I'm proud, he said quietly. The sincerity in his voice caught me off guard. Ryan, he looked at me. You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know. Seeing you here, after everything, it's inspiring. I felt my chest warm. You were part of that everything. You helped me breathe again. He shrugged. You would have found your wings either way. Later, during my speech, I stood before hundreds of people and said, rebirth isn't about revenge or proving others wrong. It's about remembering who you are when no one's clapping. The crowd applauded, but I wasn't thinking about them. My mind flashed. Ethan's lies, Maya's betrayal, the rain that night. They were ghosts now, background noise to a story that no longer belonged to them. After the event, Lena raised her glass. To the woman who rose from the fire, I smiled. To the people who lit it. Without them, I'd never have learned how to shine. The laughter that followed wasn't cruel. It was free like me. For the first time, I wasn't surviving. I was soaring. The city hummed beneath me, 1,000 lights flickering like quiet applause. I leaned on the balcony rail, the night air cool against my skin. For the first time in years, I felt still. Ryan's voice came from behind me. You're going to catch a cold out here. I smiled faintly. You sound like someone's grandpa. He laughed. I prefer concerned citizen. I'm fine, I said softly. Just thinking. About the past? About everything, I admitted. Who I used to be. Who I became. He joined me at the railing. Tell me about her, the old you. I exhaled. She was naive. She believed love fixed everything. She thought loyalty would protect her. He nodded. And now she knows better, I said. She knows love isn't about saving someone. It's about saving yourself first. Ryan smiled. That's powerful. It's truth, I said. I used to think Ethan and Maya destroyed me, but really, they just forced me to see what I was capable of. He leaned closer. Do you regret any of it? I paused. No, regret means I'd change something, and I wouldn't. Every scar taught me something worth knowing, even the betrayal. Especially that, I said. It broke me open. And that's where the light got in. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The wind carried the faint sound of traffic, laughter from the street below. Life moving on, as it always does, Ryan said quietly. You've come a long way, Ava. I had to, I replied. I couldn't stay her forever, the girl who waited for love that wasn't real. He looked at me. And now I don't wait, I said. I move, I build, I rise. He chuckled softly. You really are unstoppable. Not unstoppable, I corrected. Unbreakable. He smiled. That's even better. We stood there for a while, just breathing. No grand gestures, no promises, just peace. After he left, I stayed on the balcony, watching the skyline shimmer. My reflection in the glass looked back at me. Not the broken woman from before, but someone whole. I whispered, you did it. You made it out. The city didn't answer, but it didn't need to. The wind carried my words into the night, and I felt them echo somewhere deep inside. They thought they destroyed me, I whispered again, smiling now, but they only taught me how to rise. I turned off my phone, closed the balcony door, and walked toward the life I'd built steady, proud, free. The past was gone. The pain was gone. All that remained was me, the woman I became.